Thanks for downloading another segment from the Best of the Classic Metal Show. The Classic Metal Show is heard live on Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. And now here's another piece of Classic Metal Show history on the Best of the Classic Metal Show.
The Classic Metal Show.
It is your Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. That's one of my favorite tunes right there from the Seasons in the Abyss release, and that is Skeletons of Society. And we want to welcome Dave Lombardo here on the Classic Metal Show for the first time. Welcome to the Classic Metal Show there, Dave.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? How you doing?
I'm doing real well, Dave. I'm very excited about the fact that Slayer has a new release out, and you guys are still around after all these years and just cranking out the what we consider classic or thrash metal, I guess.
Yeah, hey, I guess we're one of the lucky ones. I mean, we could keep doing this and and get paid for it and enjoy ourselves all at the same time.
Sure. Well,
who could ask for a better job?
Right. Well, do you consider the fact that Slayer has been around for so long? Do you attribute that to luck, or is it just desire?
Well, I mean, they both go, a little hand in hand. I mean, it has to be. I mean, desire. It has to be, a drive for. You have to have that drive where you just want it. And you always search for it, and you're always, how should I say, kicking ass or whatever. Oh, there's a beep. Excuse me. So it's good.
Sure. Well, Dave, I got to ask you, there was a lot of rumor and there was a lot of talk going around after Christ Delusion that Slayer was just going to call it a day and maybe retire after that. Was that true? And if that was true, what changed in the attitude?
Well, I really don't know. I think it was Kerry that said that, and who knows what state of mind he was in. But I really, I don't foresee anything, happening to the band anytime soon. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to stop playing drums. I'm going to continue playing until I probably end up looking like Charlie Watts.
Sure. Well, can you tell us how World Painted Blood differs from Christ Delusion or any other Slayer release? What's different about this new one?
Well, I mean, the whole process we went through to do the record was different, and very distinctly different than the previous records. One of the main issues, or one of the main things that we did different was we went into the studio without knowing all of our songs. In other words, we wrote in the studio. So I went in there with like 4 or 5 songs under my belt that I had learned, and there was just a lot more to do. So that was different. That was one of the things.
Sure. Well, back in October, your former Grip Inc. vocalist Gus Chambers was found dead of an apparent suicide or an overdose. What did you think when you heard that, and were you surprised that happened?
I was surprised, but a side of me maybe knew that there was a little instability. I mean, I knew he was unstable, in more ways than one. I was pissed. I was pissed when I heard that. I was, angry. I was sad. I felt all kinds of emotion because, I mean, once a musician's gone and from a band, I mean, that's it. It's over.
Sure.
You never get that chemistry ever. And a lot of bands break up forever because they can never find, a musician to replace them after they pass away.
Right.
So, I was pissed because it's like, we can never, ever have this band, perform live or anything like that ever again. He's gone. So.
Well, I'm sad to hear that, and my condolences to you and your bandmates there. Well, you've been fairly quiet about the Bo Staff years with Slayer while you were gone for a while there. What did you think when you heard those records? And do you like playing the songs from those CDs?
What, the prior records, the ones I didn't do?
That's right.
I mean, when I first heard some of the stuff that Slayer did while I was gone, I mean, I was like, who is this band? I was like to myself, or who is this band? They go, Slayer. Slayer? That don't sound like Slayer. You know, it just, to me, it sounded different now with this, with this new record. I mean, things are really, this record totally reflects on how Slayer sounded like during the Rain and Blood, South of Heaven and Season. I'm losing track on the question, but if you could help me here.
Well, what I was asking you is what you thought of those records, and do you enjoy playing those songs?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I enjoy them. I mean, I just learn them as if they're a demo, and then I perform it my way.
Sure.
I give it my own, flavor.
Excellent. Well, I got to ask you there, Dave. Slayer has toured a few times with Marilyn Manson. Do you feel his audience and yours are compatible, or do you guys just blow them off the stage every night?
I mean, I could sit here and be pompous and big-headed and say, "Oh yeah, we kick ass." They kick ass too. They kick ass in their own way, and we do it in our way. And I think that's what makes this tour special. That we're from, although we're distinctively a little different, or majorly different, but we're from that same branch. And the branch is, let's say, like dark music, creepy music.
Sure.
Things that involve the negative side of life. So there's a lot of similarities, but then there's a lot of differences. And he's a great guy. I mean, last night, who was it? Jeff, Carrie's wife, myself, Manson, and his girlfriend. He was all treating us to a bunch of drinks and at the hotel, and then the next day, I mean, we had drinks in his dressing room, and went to his bus. And, I mean, the guy's cool. We're having a great time.
Sure, good, excellent. Well, I'll be pompous for you there, Dave.
Go for it.
Slayer blows Manson off the stage anywhere they play, so that's just my opinion. How's that?
All right, you said it.
I did say it.
You could come to me, Dave, what are you saying, man? It's like, you know what? I didn't say it, although I did want to say it.
Sure.
I didn't say it.
But I'll tell you, as a fan and somebody who enjoys Slayer music, he can't hold a candle to you. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. I have to admit. I mean, we do kick out.
Sure you do. Well, you guys worked with Rick Rubin on this new release, World Painted Blood. What is it that Rubin brings to the table that no other producer seems to do with Slayer?
Okay, let me correct you a little bit. We did not work with Rubin on this record. He was the executive producer. The producer that we used, his name was Greg Fiddleman.
Okay.
Worked as an engineer or producing the new Metallica record.
Sure.
But Greg Fiddleman, like Rick Rubin, that's why I compare this record so much to the stuff that we did, the golden era of Slayer, I guess it was. Rain and Blood, South of Heaven, Season. Okay, what Rubin used to do back then was pull out the best out of us. He made us better musicians. He would say, Dave, that drum roll was good, but I know you could do better. Or that drum roll was amazing, but you could top it. And, he made me work hard to try to get the best possible, for example, the drum roll. And that's what this guy did. Greg Fiddleman, he sat and he worked with me, and usually when I hear a song, I'll just add what I feel is supposed to be there. But what they did, or what Greg did, was he said, okay, he would say, okay, let's try this again, and just make it a little bit better. He would always try to top it. Okay, we have a good recording of the song, but let's do it again, just for shits and giggles, because I know you're going to top it. And it's like, okay, let's go. So, sure enough, I did the song, and it was better than the one before. So that's a good producer, a guy that, kicks your ass and wants you to do the best possible performance and brings it out in you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, on the last tour, a lot was made about the Christalousin park benches and general imagery of the album. What do you think that people? Why do you think that people are too stupid to figure out that them complaining about your work plays right into your hands?
You know, I still don't understand people, and I mean, I think I would go crazy to try and to understand the psyche of human beings. You know, because it's just so fucking fast. You know, it's just so much, so intense. And they're just, a lot of people are just naive. You know, they just look at the surface. They don't realize that, hey, you know, it's art. And whether it's negative, positive, or just in between, it's still art, you know.
Sure.
I really don't concern myself with those people that complain.
Right. Well, you know, Slayer is more popular than ever today, even after, 20-some years of doing this. Is it disheartening to you that you've become as much of a Hot Topic brand as the band that's beloved by primarily the hardcore underground scene?
You know, I think being in Hot Topic is cool. Just so long we're not at, J.C. Penney's or Sears. Then okay, maybe that'll be later on. You know, like AC/DC and the Rolling Stones are doing it, or even Guns N' Roses. They have their shirts in the major department stores. We're still in Hot Topic. I don't think the fans will be too pissed. They got to find our stuff, at a store somewhere. If they want to give somebody a present, I got you a Slayer shirt. Oh, great. So.
Cool.
It's all good.
Well, I know earlier in the interview you said Slayer isn't going away anytime soon, but do you think Slayer is winding down, or do you see years ahead of you?
Dude, no way. Slayer is not winding down. I mean, if they're going to be winding down, I'd be the first one to wind down, because I'm the little engine,
right.
In the machine.
Right.
Or within the machine, and I feel stronger and more powerful than I've ever have before, and I'm hitting harder than I ever have, and the roles are just more intense than they've ever been. You can't say that we're not right now at the peak of our career, maybe, or of our performances, or I don't know. All I know is it feels freaking great.
Well, what I wanted to ask you, Dave, is being part of a legendary band such as Slayer. What is your thoughts about I don't want to use the word cliche, but when people are at concerts, they yell out Slayer. What's your thoughts about that?
I think it's great. I mean, I heard that it could be at any concert, at any given time. Slayer doesn't even have to be on tour. And somebody at a club, will yell out Slayer. And it's usually, the drunk, belligerent one.
Sure.
I think the word Slayer just falls out of your mouth when you're drunk.
Right.
So I think it's just a good word that goes well together when Slayer fans had a little bit too much to drink. So I think that's why they just blurt it out, at any given situation.
Right.
I think it's great.
Well, you're right up there with Leonard Skinner and Freebird!
Freebird, yeah.
So it's either Freebird or Slayer.
Wow. That is such a great analogy right there. Yeah.
It's true. And we have a music correspondent we like to have on the show periodically. I don't know if you know him or not. His name is Eric Braverman.
No.
And he talks about Slayer quite often. And in fact, he wrote the forward book along with his his partner Mark Paschke. He wrote a forward book in the Slayer box set.
Yeah.
Well, he said that he could be spelunking in the caves of South Africa and see Slayer written on a wall in a cave somewhere.
Well, that's true. A friend of mine, he says, Dave, I really wasn't into your band, but I was in this public bathroom on the side of the road in Spain, and I look over to, wipe my behind. I grab some toilet paper, and sure enough, right there by the toilet paper was Slayer written. He goes, I really was never into you, but that's so freaking great.
Yeah. Well, you got to be proud to be a member of a legendary band like Slayer, and I wish you great success in many years to come, because we love Slayer here on the Classic Metal Show, and we're glad you're back with a new release, World Painted Blood.
You're going to love it. The fans are going to love it. You know, maybe I'm blowing my own horn a little soon, but I don't care, because I am working within this band, and when I hear, you know, something, and it's great, you can't shut me up. The new album, the fans, I believe, are going to enjoy it immensely.
Excellent. All right, Dave. Well, it really is an honor and a pleasure to have you here on the Classic Metal Show. But before I let you go, I want to ask you the traditional Classic Metal Show question. We've been asking this for about 5 years now, probably to 300 different artists. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
Wow. How's it? Well, okay. What's that song? Overkill, with the double bass.
Sure.
Filthy McNasty, whatever his name is, Filthy Animal.
Right.
Remember?
Right.
I mean, that song in particular influenced me as a child. When I listened to it, I was like, wow, listen to that double bass. You know, and then the bass. I mean, just that power. He's a road dog. He's like just full on. He's just a road dog, and you know, look how long he's been doing this. And you know, there's life in metal after you get old.
Sure, sure. All right, excellent, Dave. Well, again, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us here on the Classic Metal Show. And we're going to close the interview with the song off of this latest release, World Painted Blood, the Psychopathy Red. Is there anything?
Let me correct you. Psychopathy.
Psychopathy, okay.
Psychopathy Red.
Okay. I just pronounce all the syllables. What can I tell you?
Yes, please. Psychopathy.
Well, thanks for the lesson there, but
the lesson in English.
There you go.
I know it well enough, but I just know Jeff says, "Dude, why don't they understand that it's psychopathy?" I go, "Jeff, I'll correct it for you." He goes, "Okay, thanks."
Okay, well, it's like a psychopath, so you just sort of put the Y on the end.
Yeah, that's what I always thought. Psychopathy. No, psychopathy. Oh, okay.
All right. Is there anything about this song you want to tell us about?
Every time I perform this song live, I think of Moscow. It's so odd. Both me and Carrie, whenever we played this song, we connected when we played Moscow, Russia recently in last November. So it's an amazing song. It's very punkish. It's very straightforward, and it's almost in classic Slayer form, which was very much punk influenced. There you go, Psychopathy Red.
Excellent. All right, well, here it is. This is brand new Slayer, exclusively here on your Classic Metal Show. Thanks for checking out the best of the Classic Metal Show. You can tune into the Classic Metal Show live every Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com.
The Classic Metal Show.